Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Addicted to Fishing, and today we're going to cover lipless cranks. Got a handful of them in various sizes laid out here. These are pretty much my go-to confidence baits. Great time of the year to start picking up a lipless. It's a very versatile bait. Yeah, we're just going to dive right into it. Generally, I'll throw it on my crankbait rod. Pretty much anything with a treble hook, I'll try to put on that crankbait rod. Something that's either a glass rod or something that's a composite rod. Sometimes I'll throw it on a medium heavy. Just really depends upon where I'm fishing it. Great to throw out across mud flats, in and around grass. Throw it around some laydowns, but you got to be really careful because, you know, obviously with treble hooks hanging down off of it, it can get pretty snagged up. But it's great if you're fishing on a boat or on a bank. This time of the year, all the way through fall, I'll throw it. There's different ways to throw it. We'll kind of cover that first. First, pretty much is what everybody knows. You chuck it out, whine. Chuck it, whine. The other way a lot of people fish it is you chuck it out, let it hit bottom, and then you're hopping it off bottom. So what you're looking for is that bait's going to come up. It's going to represent a dying bait fish near the bottom. A lot of times on that hop or on that fall. I think more times than none for me, if I'm hopping it, I get that hit. I get that bite on the way up. You can find these things anywhere from, I don't know, 1/8 of an ounce all the way up to probably an ounce. I fish a few of the various sizes. So first off, we're going to start out on the small end of the scale. If I'm really trying to downsize or I got a tough bite, I will downsize my rattle trap lipless crankbait. The first one I have here is the Rapala Rippin' Wrap. This is a great one to hop and rip off the bottom. I believe this is a cotton cordell spot, and this one's just either another spot or it's a Bill Lewis. I think it's another spot, but you can see you can get these guys really, really small. They're great for not only picking up largemouth, smallmouth, spotted bass, but those are great option if you're looking for something to cover a lot of water to find some schools of white bass. And then all the rest of these are pretty much in the same size frame. This time of the year, I'm drawing out my reds. I got the 6 cents Quake. Try to hold these hooks, see if you can hear that. It's got a pretty good knock to it. It's definitely going to make some commotion. Great little bait. On a one knock side, I think this might be a Booyah. That's got a great one knock sound to it. I'm sorry, it's not a Booyah. That's a, I'll have to come back to the name on that one. Bass Pro Shop XPS. It's one of the older ones. Got a definite loud crank to it. And then last in the reds is a little Bill Lewis. Definitely got a lot of thump to it. Most of these, and I'm not sure about prices now, but I'm guessing, you know, on the cotton cordells, like this little cotton cordell, up to the mega bass, you're talking, I think the cheapest you can find these cotton cordells now is about $3, maybe a little bit more. Mega bass are probably 15 to 20. A new one that I've acquired and I haven't fished yet is a Spro Aruka shad. I'm really digging that shad profile. It's got a blue back. Definitely a thumper. This is the hardcore rattling vibe. I'm kind of digging that little yellow, orange fire tiger. Definitely got a bit of a knock to it. Of course, I showed you the super spot. Strike King Red Eye Shad. A Rapala Ripstop. This is just a bigger version of the little micro that I showed you. Another Bill Lewis bait, and you can notice a lot of these. I'm trying to shake them so you can kind of hear the different sounds that they make. They're not super quiet. This one is a Lucky Craft. Definitely this time of the year has more some of that ghosty, but you can definitely hear all those BBs. You're not being quiet at all with this bait. One that I have found that I really like, especially in that clear water, is the Mega Bass Vibration Ultra. It's got that kind of ghosty color to it. You can see those BBs in there. Definitely a killer little bait. Another Lucky Craft, but this one's completely silent. And unfortunately, I only own two, and both of them that I do own are in white. That's a great little bait. And you can hear it's totally silent. So what I'm doing, and when I'm walking down the bank, if I'm going down a bank and there's 3 or 4 other guys fishing on the same pond I'm fishing, or the same general area, and they're throwing a big old loud bait, a lot of thumping, a lot of knocking, I like to come back by with something silent. Another great tip for you guys this time of the year, depending on what part of the country you're on, depends upon what stage of the spawn the bass are in. I think my bass are just now starting to kind of move up, and we'll get a cold snap, and I think they kind of pull back. I don't think they're in full spawn yet. But if they're up shallow, coming through with something silent is usually the best way to do it. And I'm going to touch base on that real quick for you. Why would I want to throw a loud like quake when these bass are pulling up shallow? Why would I want to look for something silent? And this goes for just about any bait I'm going to throw up shallow. One of the things you got to keep in mind, these bass haven't been up in the shallows for a couple of months. And generally speaking, when the first wave of bass or any bass pulls up shallow for the first time, they're kind of skittish, and they're kind of prone to take off and leave if they're spooked really suddenly. And being spooked is not just from a loud bait, but your foot steps on the bank. If you're in a boat, you got to be light on your feet, being ultra quiet, turning on your trolling motor, not opening and shutting rod lockers, dropping your rod in the boat, things of that nature. You want to keep it pretty quiet. I've noticed on a lot of ponds that I fish that if I'm pulling up and I'm really loud, and it's this time of the year where the bass are first pulling up, I throw something loud in there, and I spook that bass off. I had a whole week where I went bass fishing the same pond, just trying to watch them and seeing what stages of the spawn they were in. And this particular bass that was coming up on and trying to build their nest, I didn't see that bass for probably 2 days after that. So they do spook really easy this time of the year. If you're in highly pressured areas, I definitely recommend you going to a silent bait, whether you're throwing a silent lipless, square bill, whatever it is. Again, I like to throw all my lipless, any treble hook bait on that composite type rod. It's usually about a 7-1, 6-speed, 7-speed reel. Generally speaking, I want to use some mono or fluorocarbon. Something with a little bit of stretch to it. There's some in-depth videos out there. I forget who just did one on the difference between mono and fluorocarbon, where people have that misconception that fluorocarbon doesn't stretch. A lot of fluorocarbons do stretch, not quite as much as the mono. But one of the things for me with throwing mono on a lipless style bait, not just having that soft tip rod, is that allows some shock protection when that bass comes up and eats that. A couple other little quick mods that you can do to a bait while I'm thinking about it, especially like this one here, this 6 cents. A lot of people will put red hooks on it. I actually have an old Bill Lewis bleeding bait that I picked up, and it's got some red hooks on it. This one, the front treble needs changed out. You can see it's been bent a little bit, but a red hook will help them key in on that. I definitely recommend, especially if you're in an area where you're going to be around big fish, upgrade those split rings, upgrade those hooks. This has got the VMT Barbarian hook on it. Even if you just change the back one, you see if I've got one here. Yeah, like this guy here, I put that Barbarian hook in the back, regular hook up front. I definitely, if you're going with some cheaper, like the cotton cordels, usually I'll change out split rings if I know I'm going to be around some really big fish or heavy cover. I just want to make sure that I have a hook that's not going to bend out and a split ring that's not going to fail. I'm not here to tell you that the split rings and hooks like this Mega Bass, that's all stock. This Lucky Craft, all stock hardware. Strike King Red Eye Shad, all stock hardware. 6 cents, some fishing stock hardware. A lot of these I will fish stock hardware. I'm not fishing a lot of heavy cover, and I'm not fishing where I believe I'm going to be in trouble with a giant that could bend that hook out. Upgrading your hardware definitely is key if you're around big fish or you're fishing like heavy grass. You want to be able to rip that bait out. It definitely helps out. One of the other things that I can tell you that I like to do fishing, especially with the lipless, is when I'm casting it out, and even if I'm casting and winding, chucking and winding, cast it, reel, stop, burn, stop. Just alternating. Even ripping the rod, I'm alternating. Making things erratic with my rod and my reel handle. It's causing that bait, because it's riding here. You pause it, rip it. You get a lot more action out of the bait. And I find a lot of times, especially if I'm ripping it or I'm pausing it, a lot of times on that pause, you got a bass tracking it. And you pause that bait, they just flat unload on it. And the times that I really notice that is if the bass has that in their mouth this way. If I'm finding the bass is eating it this way, it's generally not because I paused the bait. They just T-boned it. They were feeding, and that natural core reaction came out, and they just wanted to kill that bait fish. So anyway, guys, that's just a quick video. Sorry I missed one yesterday. I've been doing a lot of moving, been doing a lot of work, but I'm going to continue to try to get some more videos out. I got some more baits coming in. Nothing brand new. They're new to me, but I got a few things coming in. I got another good springtime video coming up, and I'll try to roll that out. I think that stuff should be here tomorrow. Yeah, it's going to be some modification stuff that's involved with it. But anyway, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I do put out a video, especially up until, oh geez, probably the next four months or so. It's going to be really chaotic for me at work. I've got a couple weeks before that chaos starts. I'm opening up a new store, and we're going to be really super busy. Working a lot of hours, getting a lot of people trained and up to date. So it's might be hit and miss on videos, but I'm going to try to keep coming out with you. Again, guys, this is just what I'm doing with a lipless crank, and how I'm fishing them and what's been successful for me. If you have any comments, please drop those down below. If there's a particular type of video that you'd like to see, leave that message too. Unfortunately, I've tried to take a little tripod out with my phone, and record some on the water stuff, and it's just not working out that great. I don't have a GoPro right now. Plus, I haven't been able to fish a lot of the areas I want to fish because it's either been cold or it's raining, and either the water's too high where I can't even get to an area. Like I fish a bunch of tailwaters off of the main reservoirs that have been built for flood control. Like the one up at East Fork right now, they're cranking water out, and it's just not fishable. A few other places I went to, it's just way too muddy to even try to get near the bank or close enough to the water to even fish them. So I haven't been able to get out and do a lot of that. But I do post on FishBrain. I think in my community section, I posted a link for that. I try to upload fish catches over there. And we'll see. Maybe I can figure out a way to get out on the water and make some videos. Just to kind of show you some of these techniques more up front. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in the next one.